Thank y'all for coming. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on your birthday. Roy and I organize a reading series called Poetry for the People, and on the 18th we're going to have Paul Nelson from the Seattle area, and I've totally spaced on the second guy, so check out our flyer and we hope to see you there. We have a great open mic with that too. I'm going to start today by reading a poem by Elizabeth Woody from her book, 7 Hands, 7 Hearts. It's quickly becoming my most favorite book in the world. And this poem is called Shaker Church Prayer. Her feet raise dust, shaker songs, stomp, stomp, crack the floorboards. Pairs of bells, round brass mountains erupt from their hands. They rise for calls of prayer, throw the evil away, bring the light in. Ears ring and numb, candle flames suspend the shape of Jesus' cross. She sways, the song and breath is expelled through tight lips. Hands draw up grandmother's sore posture. The candles above them are brilliant, the bells crack. Our floor erupts with feet. She knows how to heal. Her eyes are closed, and she sees the source of disease. They rise in the prayer. They throw evil away, bring the light in. Her hands tremble from the wrist, hold off the darkness. Arms embrace with the light and air of song and prayer. The church trembles, then we rest. I was lucky enough to put together publish this anthology with Liz Nakazawa as the editor. The Knotted Bond Oregon poets speak of their sisters, and I'm going to read a poem from this collection by Cindy Williams Gutierrez, Suddenly Reconciled. One moment we stood in the kitchen, motionless, while the clock tipped on its head. The room swam, and the stove hovered, stacked with all the cakes Mother had baked when we were small. The next, my ears played tricks on me, as if we were Siamese twins. I couldn't tell which of us suddenly shot 3 arrows into the air. 3 words arced between us, trailing white flags and strange music. We could have resorted to 10 more light years of distance, and enough silence to fill the holes in every galaxy. Instead, we floated in a moment of tumbling space, like frocked figures in Chagall. Then I remembered. This is what I had wanted to say to you, these fragile syllables that flew from your mouth, alighting on my shoulders. They pinned me to this place. Time and space no longer continued. And I knew the vertigo of light again, the dizzying blaze in an open field, when light layers itself and the field levitates. Only there is no field, just your face, a full sun shimmering. It's kind of hard to find 30 minutes worth of stuff that's not family friendly. But this is one of my favorite older poems. It's called Pies, and I wrote this for my sisters, Chris, Karen, and Donna. Pumpkin. Open-faced, single butter crust, smooth, custardy filling, eggs, cream, sugar, and spices, cinnamon, ginger, allspice, and clove. First, she said, I ate the whole pie, for breakfast, mind you. Then I called for a cab. She leans over and whispers, your father had already set off for work at the phone company, and we only had the 1 car. You were nearly born in the back seat of a checkered cab. Apple. To sit at the big table, you have to be able to hold a canasta hand firmly in your fingers. To bake a good pie, you have to pick the right apples, tart Granny Smiths, and a dash of vanilla. All the rest is just a little of this and a little of that. To stay at the big table, you have to be wicked smart. Butterscotch peach. When Grandma died, Mom got her Betty Crocker cookbook brimmed with family secrets. When Mom died, my sister took the cookbook. One unplanned day, she cleaned out her life, throwing everything she owned into a dumpster behind her house. Photos, letters, Butterscotch peach pie recipe, all gone. Baking just seems to skip generations. Lemon meringue. If I made the crust and the filling, Mom would whip those egg whites until foamy, stiff sugar peaks formed a perfect moist meringue. Mud. Hollow out a hole, fill from a hose, scoop out a bit, shape into patties, decorate with tiny, pointy pebbles, dry them in the sun. Throw them at your sisters before they are done, or after if you are mad at one. Thank you. And this is from Catherine's anthology, Poems on Poems. This is called Better Recipes. I'm going to attempt it. I had a bet. Kathy McGuire said, we talked about how you can't have big words in a poem, so I tried to find every big word I could and put it into a poem and get it published. Poetry is a big hit in our family. They think this recipe makes the best poems of all and is easily doubled or tripled. Sprinkle grammar or punctuation on top of the verse for those who want them just before saving the Word document. It's definitely my favorite interpretation. Plus, you can make a rough draft the night before. Ingredients. 1.5 teaspoons active dry Mathemacaster. 2 tablespoons warm sub-Intelliger, 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees centigrade. 2 cups all-purpose intransigence, 1 teaspoon dermatoglyphics, 1 teaspoon peripatetic, 1 tablespoon schwerpunkt, 1/2 teaspoon of nebulous, 3 liminals, 2 cups epistolatory, and 2 tablespoons of mythologum. Directions. In a small journal, dissolve Mathemacaster in warm sub-Intelliger. Let stand until creamy, about 10 minutes. In a large journal, mix together intransigence, dermatoglyphics, peripatetic, schwerpunkt, and nebulous. Make a well in the center. Add dry Mathemacaster mixture, liminals, apostolatory, and mythologum. Write until contradistinguished from prose. Spray preheated word processor with non-stick critique feedback. Pour a 1/4 cup batter into the hot processor. Edit until the sword of Damocles looms over your head. Your time will vary. Serve hot. What to drink? A quad shot vanilla latte. Serve in a 20-ounce thermal. Or a blood orange Bellini, served in a chilled champagne flute. This is from my book, Willingly Would I Burn. Poems themed around math and science. If you have a daughter, teach her to fly. Bodies against the brink, accepting directives, a bruising shuffle. The torments of negative space, extractions, protocols, exterminations, unchanging templates, veiled histories, amplifying, identifying DNA sequences. Proof of death just isn't what it used to be. It's all so obvious, the larger truth. Should we vanish? Thank you. Should we vanish? You may drive nature out with a pitchfork, but she will always return. That's Horace. Section 1. To whom it may concern. By unfortunate error, we have misidentified civilization. It was, in fact, not created by the deity or deities sometimes known as God, but by Mrs. Charles Ann Hobart of Kansas City, Missouri, head of the Abstinence for Y'all Coalition. We sincerely regret this error and offer our apologies. Jesus Tran Rodriguez, Transition Director, New Directions in the Great Urban Outdoors, Building Bigger and Better Prisons. 2. Maybe she wanted to him the impossible dialogue, something imagined. 3. Write your name in a veiled raven. 4. The sun detonated. It made a lot of noise. It was over. 5. An error has occurred. The feed is probably down. Try again later. 6. Flick off the light switch. 7. The ghosts are laughing. I still have hope. And this one, all of my alternative roots have alternative roots. Like fingerprints and DNA and the darkness within, only you disappear. Grief deteriorates to grappling, polymers twist, entwine, a double helix measures the question. The ridges on the pads of a finger, the separation incapable of being fixed, echo the velocity of wind. Faces fragment, wary of resistance, I cannot say. When you are asleep, listen to this. Beyond the horizon lie other horizons. This is the anthology I was working on with 3 other presses. It's called The Absence of Something Specified. And I'm just going to read one poem out of here. I had known Sharon was coming out. I've read her poem. It's by Alexis Roan Fancher, This Small Rain. This small rain, sambas on San Vicente, wanders through Whittier, Mambos past Montebello and East LA. This small rain, like a Latina, overplucks her eyebrows, drinks tequila shooters, fronts a girl band. This small rain works 2 jobs, dawdles and downpours. This small rain seeds clouds. This small rain drives to Vegas in a tormenta, has a friend in Jesus, needs boots and a winter coat. In this drought-racked city, this small rain dreams of flash floods, despositos, indigo lakes, cisterns, high waters, big gulps, endless refills. In this drought-racked city, this small rain settles on the yerba seca, sleeps under freeways, plays the lotto, is unlucky in love. This small rain longs to hose down the highways. This small rain chases storms. This small rain has a tsunami at her heart. This small rain kamikazes in the gutter, suicides on summer sidewalks, dreams of a deluge that overflows the riverbanks, washes LA clean. In this drought-racked city, this small rain scans the heavens, looking for a monsoon, searching for Sioux Salvador in the reclaimed desert sky. I'm going to read a couple from my book, Becoming. Becoming is a nonlinear discourse on the theme of alcoholism and dementia, and excessive drinking over a period of years can lead to a condition known as alcoholic dementia, which can cause problems with your memory, learning, and other cognitive skills. I'm going to read the happier poems in here.
Cashier to the front, please. Cashier to the front, thank you.
Well, still life with bottles. Through a series of mishaps, he comes home early to get a start on the weekend. The sitter abandons us to our father. Records fly across the basement, shattering except for Herb Alpert and the Tijuana brass band's whipped cream and other delights stuck on repeat. His nails lacerate knotty pine panels. He crawls low and deep, and we creep silently down unlit stairs, peek around the corner as the phone is wrenched from the wall to listen to the gurgle and smash of long-necked bottles. 5-player canasta. With more than enough to get, with more than enough to get a game going, we draw for partners. One person to rotate out every other hand. Highs to highs, lows to lows, ties draw over and no one wants Dad. Dad, who plays only for the short game, counts cards, adding up his hand out loud. 5, 10, 15, 20, and 20 is 40, and everyone knows what he's collecting. Lays down early, cards in his hand as soon as he can, all but one. He can never, ever take the pile. forces his team to leave points on the table, tapping his finger on the laid out cards, counting out loud. 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, 4 tap, from dessert until the crush of 5,000 points. We sit, throw down red 3s, pray for black 3s and wild cards, take huge piles if the other team hasn't counted correctly. Build natural, red on top, tap, 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 and unnatural, black on top, tap, 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 tap. Canastas, grinning, ask our partners if we can go out. Whoever is sitting out waits on the remaining players. Chips, cokes, pie, goads the opposition, rotates her chair around the table spying on the competition. Whoops, hey, no table talking, while we shuffle and do it all over again. We go riding in the red Rambler on the way to Grandma's house, out in the county to Festus, Missouri. My sisters are sleeping, but I gotta know, what's this? How long before we get there, and where did frogs come from? If I found a baby bird, could I keep it? Why is Hans named Hans? Why is Grandpa Jess not Grandpa O like Grandma O? Why doesn't Dad like snakes? How come a chicken isn't a rooster? Why aren't all vegetables wrapped in plastic and Dad screams to shut up, or he'll turn around and we'll go back, but I know we're going to Grandma's and he screams to shut up or he'll pull over, but we're going to Grandma's and I know. Snakes in a bowl. Before you go to bed, your sister tells you they are there in the bowl on the sideboard in the kitchen, but you don't believe her. Why would you? Her track record isn't stellar. She thinks she can walk home 1,700 miles in an hour and visit her 19-year-old daughter. So in the morning when you go out to change the cat food, in the depression glass bowl on the sideboard, and a snake starts to crawl out, and you wonder what'll happen if you drop the bowl and it shatters and there's a snake loose and you don't have on any shoes, and why would you? You haven't even had coffee yet. And you calmly, slowly, calmly place the bowl with the snake and the food back down and go get the work gloves you use to haul firewood. And still barefooted, you gingerly pick up the gigantic baby garter snake who suddenly enters the slippery Olympics, and naturally, the once dozing cats renew a super keen interest while you are trying to navigate the cat's slidey snake, steps, locked sliding glass doors. Set free the snake in the wild outdoors when your sister says, "Hey, there's a snake in your hand. You know, you used to have some in a bowl upstairs." Wonder why she keeps saying snakes. So this is the 3-poem warning announcement. You can start breathing again. A political poem, America. And this is coming out, Rock and Sling, the Journal of Witness, this weekend. Don't enclose, title, book us, put us, body parts in quotation marks. We yearn to be commensurate, a window with marriage and insurance on the other side. Our dreams liberate the language of worship. We do not want to be cured. Our calloused flesh, your narrow column of awareness, voices hum without breaking. Has it broken down to this? Wiretapping, billing status, choice, and/or sexual orientation. Had a lot of loss lately, and I'm going to read this poem that was published in the Femme a while back for my friend Rita. Some assembly may be required. You are in denial. Your eyes are hyacinth red. You page through your daughter's wedding album. You flood 1,000 lakes with tears. You lie and you say it's about her divorce. You buy a kayak, you buy an oar, but not a life jacket, not a helmet. Ask, who wants to look through this with me one more time? You fear you might have missed something. You could have missed anything. You lost your house after your heart attack, but now, submerged, you ask and you ask and you ask, why not you? And already there is so much water in the binder the hospital gave you to navigate around. Your husband and you get a purple caregiver ribbon, pin it on your long sleeve shirt. You are so cold. Your friends all come to visit. Your friends come to visit. You crash into end stage. You become proficient at chemo day valet parking. At first you thought you would be the one to go. You confess your grief. You dry your eyes. Hop up to make lasagna, his favorite. Your husband suddenly has been diagnosed, esophageal cancer, and you wish you could remember if you could swim. And something with strange notes on the back. It's called Reunions. It was just published in Mobius. Why keep the high school ring? Why fly 1,735 miles to visit a place you hate? Why drive by the houses, Pine View and Constance Court? Why all the poverty? Why drive by Mort Jacobs Park or the schools, Booter, Hague, but not Rittner Sr.? Why? Why buy the ticket, the $50 buffet? Why tolerate the noise, the heat, the intolerance? Why, when you insist you don't recall, would someone insist you do know them? Why rekindle the hurt? Why sit at the table full of already friends? Why try and talk to semi-total strangers? Why, after 40 years, don't things change? Why was it so damn good to see some people? Why wasn't there enough time to hear all of their stories? My great-nephew asks me, why in the world did I come back? He asks, do I have a job? Have I been to Paris? Could you come live with me next summer? Did I really like math? I say, I came to talk. Friendships wrought and lost, heart, loyalty, forgiveness, love and bad parents, lifelines and ways out. I say, I came back for you. Charles and Stephen.
Thank you, Laura. Big hand for Laura.
And Donna.
And, well, yeah, I was getting there.
Sorry, I forgot to say that.
And to Donna and to everybody for being here. All right, so we're going to take a short break, no more than 10 minutes, right? And coffee, tea, please support Barnes & Nobles, and we'll come back, have a few announcements, and get started with the open mic. Thanks.
This is my favorite.